Hi, my name is Alex Motier. I have been vegan for over 10 years and today I am going to show you how to make a very simple, very easy carrot cake served with some ice cream, and all of it is going to be done with easy to find ingredients that you most certainly already have in your cupboard and in your fridge. The carrot cake is of course completely vegan, as is the icing that I will put on top, and the ice cream is in non-churn, raw, very easy, a few ingredients only ice cream that you can make without an ice cream machine and that you can enjoy whenever. So, to make your vegan carrot cake, you are first going to need 2 cups of flour, then 1 cup of sugar. I chose brown sugar because it's less processed and it has a better flavor. Then you need 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt because it helps enhance the flavor, 1 tablespoon of allspices. You can also put cinnamon and the other spices that you like instead, but it has to amount to about 1 teaspoon. And final dry ingredient that you put first, you add 3 shredded carrots. You can buy them already shredded or shred them yourself. We are going to mix it roughly before adding the liquid ingredients. So you then need half a cup of oil, regular oil that is not too much flavored. If you like it, you can replace it with coconut oil. 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is the best, but any vinegar that has a little bit of flavor is good for that. It helps react with the baking powder and makes the cake actually take on volume. And you finish by adding 1 cup of water, or if you like to have a little bit more of flavor, you can make it 1 cup of orange juice or any type of orange and lemon or whatever mix, or squash even, to make it more flavorsome and a bit more sugary, a bit more sweet, but I don't really like that, so for me 1 cup of water is better. And you mix it all together, not too much, because it's actually good for that type of cake if it's a bit uneven. You know, if you have some bits with big lumps of carrots, etc., you don't want it to be too much mixed and it would be too flat, and that's not what you want, so don't mix it too much. And finally, to that you will add 1 cup of raisins and orange mix, which is what I'm using here. And again, lightly mix it so that there is a bit of the resin mix everywhere, but not too much mixing, as I already said. Before starting the icing, don't forget to preheat the oven at 180 degrees. We now need to make our icing, and for that you will need 1 cup of powdered sugar, and only powdered sugar. You can't use regular sugar for that. It has to be powdered sugar. Then you will need 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. And if you don't have maple syrup, or if you don't like maple syrup, to each their own, you can use golden syrup instead, or agave syrup. And we put that on top of the powdered sugar. And final essential ingredient, you need 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. And then we are going to mix, and if and only if it's not moist enough, it's not liquid enough to be poured on top of the carrot cake, then you will be able to add a little bit of water, but only a little bit. So I have prepared 1 tablespoon of water. I'm not sure I'm going to use it all. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of it. So here's the water. Just a little bit for now. And seeing if I need more. You can't really go back if there is too much water, then you need to add more powdered sugar, etc. So really only add a little bit of water. And then we have a good texture, so that's good. Don't need more water now. So I might have used, I don't know, maybe just 1 teaspoon of water in the end, and that's how it is. Nice icing, and we put that on the side. Now that the cake mix is done and that you have prepared the icing, which we put on the side, we are going to pour the cake mix in the mold and cook the cake for about 20 minutes or until it's perfectly dry, which you can check by putting the tip of a knife in the cake mix, and if it's completely dry, then it is perfectly cooked. So for the raw vegan instant ice cream, you will need 2 or 3 bananas, depending on the side, which you are going to cut and then froze for at least 1 hour. I always have bananas in my freezer, especially when I have a few overripe bananas. Instead of discarding them, which is a lot of waste, I cut them and I put them in the freezer. So I have always something to make a smoothie, which is delicious, or to make an ice cream, as I'm going to show you. So to make your instant ice cream, you first need to mix the 3 bananas, which I have just done. And to this mix, you add 1/4 of a cup of plant milk. I chose soy milk because I really like the taste and it has a bit of protein, but you can use almond milk instead, of coconut milk, any type of plant milk that you like. Oat milk is pretty good as well because it's quite creamy and quite well mimics the taste of cow's milk. So here it is, soy milk for me. You also need 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. Again, you can substitute that with golden syrup or agave syrup if it's what you have or what you prefer. And you can of course add a bit more if you want it to be even more sweet, or a bit less if you don't want it to be too sweet. And finally, you will need a good teaspoon of vanilla extract. If you have some vanilla pods, it's even better, because this way you will even have the little grains of vanilla inside of the ice cream, like a professional ice cream. I didn't have that with me today, so I'm using vanilla extract, which is also good, but vanilla pods are even better. And then you mix it thoroughly, and when it's completely evenly mixed, you put everything in a plastic container that is perfectly closed, and put that in your freezer for about an hour, a little bit more or a little bit less, depending on the texture of your ice cream, of how hard you want it to be or how soft. Once the cake is cooked, put it on the side for at least an hour to cool down perfectly, and then only you can pour the icing over it. And after that, you can serve it with a little bit of ice cream on the side. And that's how you make very simple, very delicious vegan carrot cake. And if you like this type of food, I have 2 books to recommend for you. This first one, which is Eat Smart by Naomi Smart. It's full of delicious plant-based food from breakfast to your midnight snack, with lots of lunches ideas, dinner ideas, and even some smoothies, ice cream and cake. So with that you have all the foods you need for all occasions and all plant-based, and it's quite easy to find. Actually, that's the first book I bought when I came to the UK 4 years ago, and I found it at Tesco. So I hope you can, if you're interested, I hope that you can find as easily as I did. And the second one is Chloe's Vegan Desserts, and as you can imagine, this one is only for sweet, delicious desserts, cakes, ice creams, everything. There's lots of delicious ideas for birthdays cakes as well, and I've done lots of cakes from that one. The recipe I did for the carrot cake is inspired by this book, and I highly recommend it for all of you who love sweet foods but want to do it while taking care of the environment, the animals, and your budget, and even your health. So that's the book. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed your cooking experience. Bye!